we see is pain. My people see the same. They locked us down in chains. We just praying for a change. They knocked us off the throne and stripped the earth of our names. My heritage I claim. I just pray they do the same. Cause if they only knew that we the true Jews. But if they only knew that we the true Jews. If they only knew that we the true Jews. But if they only knew that we the true Jews. You saved us from Egypt and Moses was a leader. Next 40 years, angel food is what you feed us. You passed me down the law mindset of elitists. I took a blood oath and promised my kids they'll keep it. So we celebrate the Passover, kill the firstborn. You played the land of Egypt, no mercy was shown. For agriculture, finance, the system was torn. When you drown them in the sea and left their city in mourning, now mourning. And one the semblance of a sign, no we blind. Messiah put spitted clay in my eyes in times. They wondering which way is the God, so we die. Not knowing his always way to the light, which is Christ. So I fight different stereotypes, parasites. My life ain't worth from paradise, real life. They think it's all a joke. We see is pain, my people see the same. They locked us down in chains, we just praying for a change. They knocked us off the throne and stripped the earth of our names. My heritage I claim, I just pray they do the same. Cause if they only knew that we the true Jews. But if they only knew that we the true Jews. If they only knew that we the true Jews. But if they only knew that we the true Jews. You saved us from Egypt and Moses was a leader. Next 40 years, angel food is what you feed us. You passed me down the law mindset of a leader. I took a blood oath and promised my kids.
Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Hold on, what's going on, brother, with the, I think that's a bucket hat, right? Yeah. Yeah? You can pull it right here. What's going on, man? What's your name?
My name is YOLO.
YOLO?
Yeah.
Is that what they call you, or is that your name?
That's what they call me, you feel me? You only live once, or you only live in eternity.
Who tells you that?
Shit, it's just what I know.
Who'd you learn it from?
My energy, you feel me? Pure energy, you feel me? That's what we are made of.
Let me I can agree with that. Listen, you believe in God?
I believe I'm God, yeah.
You believe
you're a God, yeah.
A God or the God?
God, you feel me? Everybody's a God, you feel me? As like y'all say, as us being black Israelites, we all have our own type of abilities, our own different, you know what I'm saying, powers and shit that we take on from our ancestors, you know what I'm saying? And the only way we can tap into that is by, you feel me, you know, the sun, shit like that, talking to each other, you know, just basically tapping in. But when you tapping in, you feel me, like they say that source feeling really is a power source, you feel me? It's an energetic source, you feel me? Everybody's
one question, right? One, because I can totally understand you, right? Let me ask you, you said they said that you can tap into the source energy. Who's the they?
They is in our ancestors, bro.
Our ancestors are telling us?
Your ancestors.
Who told them?
Shit, the people before them.
Who's the people before that? Let's skip the extras and let's get to the origin. Who's the origin? Who emanates this out into the universe? Who emanates the idea out into the universe? Who pushes forth the concept? Who had the power originally? Because if we're here, we couldn't have had the power originally if we lived once. Somebody else came before us. That means we don't got it. It was given to us. Who gave it to us? And who is he?
I feel like we created. We gave it to ourselves.
Us? The people who only live once?
Yeah, we gave it to ourselves, and we also took it away at the
When
same time.
did we do that?
In the beginning of time.
We were there?
Yeah.
So we don't live once.
Ancestors, you feel me? Our ancestors, where you don't live once. You feel me? You live in eternity.
So why'd you say your name was YOLO for we only live once if we live in eternity?
It's like two meanings behind it. You feel what I'm saying? You got YOLO and then you got YOLI. You only live once, and then you have YOLI as in you only live in eternity.
Don't those two things contradict each other though?
Nah, not really.
I mean, if you live once, you can't live for an eternity. You wouldn't.
Yeah, you live one time because that's the life, that one life that you remember. But when you live in eternity, you feel me? You reincarnate and all over, and your memories getting white.
But you also agreed that literally we only had one life.
I didn't necessarily say that.
Because I asked you who gave it to us, and you never said we gave it to us. You said our ancestors gave it to us. So they lived once and then gave it to us. I'm asking.
Who gave me the name YOLO? I said, shit, I gave it to myself. You feel me? I ain't never say nobody else gave it to me. You feel what I'm saying?
So you don't believe in a higher power?
Nah.
Why not?
Shit, because you feel me? If it was a higher power, but you really think all this shit that's going on?
I most definitely think that. You know why?
Nah.
You
don't think.
can we?
I don't think
Can I show you what you told me what you believe? Can I show you what I believe in now?
Go ahead.
Give me Deuteronomy 28. Here's why I think that a higher power did this to us, right? See, the problem is we have this misunderstanding that suspend disbelief. You know what suspending disbelief means, right? All right, cool. So suspend disbelief for a second and humor me. A higher power did this to us, right? But I learned that from the Bible. You know what that same higher power will also do to us? He'll give us back our godhood, right? See, I believe we are gods. The Bible says that.
Right.
I believe our higher power gave that to us.
Right.
I believe our higher power did this to us.
Right.
But I also believe our higher power has more than enough power and has promised more than enough times that not only did he do this to us, but what comes after this is something so great we'll forget that this ever happened to us. Forget living once. He'll give us the ability to live forever. Right? The same way you do, through our ancestors, through our kids. He'll give us a kingdom forever. And he'll give us, I don't want to put too much food on the plate. He'll give us an eternity of paradise in which we'll forget the fact that we even had to have this conversation on streets that we didn't create. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 28, bring that out. Start at 1:15, go down. I want Deuteronomy 7 from you.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, starting from the top. And it shall come to pass.
This is our higher power talking through us, right? You know that you at least know the story of Moses, right? Right? God said, gave this staff to Moses. He told Moses to go to Pharaoh, let my people go, right? This is after. This is when the Pharaoh finally let us go, right? When the Pharaoh finally let us go, Moses took us to a mountain, right? That mountain, we found our higher power on it. And our higher power gave us a code of conduct to live by so that we could be forever eternalized in history, in life. Okay, continue.
If thou shalt hearken diligently.
This is Old English. You know what hearken diligently means? It means listen well, right? Diligence is like a devotion, right? Basically, listen to what I say and continue in it. Continue.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
To observe means to be aware of, so be aware of all these commandments and do them, right? Continue.
Which I command thee this day.
And that day was 3,000 plus years ago, right? Continue.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
He'll do what?
Set thee on high.
And where does a God sit, man? On high. So what does our God promise to make us? Hold Psalms 82. Continue.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations
above
of
what?
the earth.
Above what?
All nations of the earth.
Above all nations, right? You can look around the world, right? You've been around enough to know that it ain't just black people here, right? There's all types of people. God promises we're better than them.
Right?
Our God gave us the power to be better than them. So I believe in you and us being a God. I believe in us having a power. I don't believe that power comes from us, because if we had just this immutable power, we wouldn't be here. Right. And the question you asked would be either irrelevant or being overlooked, being, if we're these gods, how are we even in this position? If we're so powerful, that means either you'd have to agree that somebody else more powerful came and did this to us, or we got our power from a God who not only did this to us, but will reverse it from us.
Right.
See, the problem isn't that we're here. The problem is what we did to get here and what we need to do to get the hell out of here.
Bring it out. Right.
Right? Continue.
Chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So, you know what a contract is, right? A contract means that both parties sign it and they agree to this. And then there's penalties for it. If you do this, here's what I'll give you under this contract. That was verse 1. We're at verse 15. Verse 1 through 14 is the positives of that contract. Verse 15 down is what God promises to do to us if we don't uphold our end of the contract. Because as much as he giveth the power, he can what? Take it away. Continue.
To observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. That all these curses. That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And all these curses will come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, right, we're gods, right? But you see the position we're in, right? Would you say, if you looked at a group of people, would you think we were a cursed people or a blessed people? And I mean economically, socially, just in like the world. I don't mean spiritually. Internally, we're the most blessed people we got. But economically, socially, where are we at, bro?
We probably would be at the bottom.
And if people are at the bottom of this society, economically, material-wise, and every other way, socially, would you call those people a blessed people or a cursed people? If you were just from the outside looking in, what would you have to come to the conclusion of?
I still would call those people blessed.
No, you're looking from the out, not you. Again.
You said from the outside.
From the out, not you, right? Where I agreed we're blessed. I'm saying if you were another group of people looking at how we live as black people in these places, in the ghetto, and in these terrible communities, right? How would you be like, those people are blessed?
I would still say blessed.
Why?
Because, you know, our history, you know, our culture, you know, things like that. There's a lot of things, a lot of things and stuff out here that
right.
Other, you know, nations and people.
Do you think these other people know about our history and our culture?
No, not quite.
So take that out and then look at us again and tell me, according to these other people, do they think that we're blessed or cursed?
They would probably think we was cursed.
We're cursed, right? And God says that. Right? Of course, like I said, we're rich in all of those things, but we're talking about in a place relative to every other group and class of people in society. What do we look like? We look like a cursed group of people. And the truth is, we are. But like I said, it does not have to be that way. Right? We are cursed because of not listening to the commandments of God. You know what some of the commandments of God were? Love thy brother with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Thou shalt not steal. You think people steal around here, bro? Thou shalt not murder. You think people murder around Atlanta, bro? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. You think people are after another man's girl right now, bro? So what does that mean? It means we broke our end of the contract and now we're here. Where is here? 28.
Chapter 28.
Yeah, 7. We're going to hold that. We're going to get to the brighter days. 28.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness.
And blindness and what?
And astonishment of heart.
What is madness and what is blindness? You ever see a tweaker? You know, somebody that's on dope? They look like they crazy, right? They're yelling at somebody that's not there. Blindness, astonishment of heart. What else? That was it on that? Nah, jump to 68. So we're going to get to the point, right? Here's the ultimate takeaway. See, this book right here, right? What do you call a book that covers the history of a group of people? Call it a history book, bro.
Just a book of knowledge.
A book of knowledge and a history book. How many of our people do you think actually for real read this book?
Not too many.
Not too many. And where do they say you should hide something from a black person? Where should you put it?
In a book.
In a book. Right. And do black people read? Be honest.
Shit.
Listen. Yeah. They can read. Do they read? So why is the book about their ancestors, their God, and their power not the most interesting book to them? They was taught, and who taught them that? We know exactly who taught them that. They're walking past you right now, bro. Listen, you see all these people around you. You think you're gonna say something? You think if you say the truth, we're gonna let something happen to you, bro?
I'm saying we all know who it is.
We all know who it is, but I want you to say it though. I need you to say it so I'll make sure we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? The white man, right?
That's right.
So what happens now? So we know why we're here, right? We know who brought us here, and we know who has subjected us to these things. We know we have power, so the question is, why don't we have enough power to get the hell out of here?
Because we not as united as we should be.
And who unites us? The same being that gave us our power.
We unite each other.
Right.
We spark the flame and energy with
exactly. But when we do that, it's called keeping the commandments of God. You see how all this loops around on itself? And I didn't even have to disagree with your points of views, man.
Right.
Your points of views fall right into this.
Right.
You know so much. How much more could you know if you read the book that you so strongly resonate with? Why are you so against the book now?
I ain't against the book. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like black people wrote that much.
Let me ask you, right? I'm gonna just take a guess. You see how the pastors are treating this, how are treating our people using this book. You see how deacons and people in the church are treating black people using this book. We give over $4 billion to the church. Have they built a road for us? Have they helped a man with his rent? Have they helped a family not get evicted? Hell no. What do? They fly out in jets and tell you they got to go evangelize white people when their people right here are suffering. And I feel like that's a big disagreement our people have with this book. We look at this book and then we look at the man who's reading it to us and we go, I can't trust him. Right. And so what happens is, because we can't trust him and everything we know about the book is from him, when we throw him away, we throw the book away too. And I don't think we should do that. I think we should do the same thing that these white people were afraid of us doing in slavery, and that's read this book. Because when you read this book, as Nat Turner says in Birth of a Nation, for everything calling for our oppression, there's 10 more verses calling for our freedom. And our God, the highest of powers, is calling for our freedom. And he's just calling for us to know him so that when he comes back, he don't got to take us with the freedom. He don't got to get rid of us when he gets rid of all these people who took our freedom from us. And I think you agree with that. I just think you spent so long being disgusted at the people who have been using this book wrongfully that you throw the book away, and you might even have accidentally thrown your God away. But even then, the way you talk doesn't really sound like you've thrown your God away. It just sounds like you changed the understanding. So let's get back to the true understanding. Have I said anything wrong thus far? Nah? Can I continue? Go ahead. 68. Let me get 68. How do we get here, man? We'll get the point. But let's get some uplifting scriptures real quick, because I know I've been bringing a lot of downward scriptures. Let's uplift this man and show him who he is according to the Bible. Bring it out. Psalms 82. Psalms 82.
This is Psalms 82 and 6. Bring it out. I have said, ye are God.
Yeah, what?
Ye are God.
Yeah, what?
Ye are God.
But what?
And all of you are children of the Most High.
And all of you are children of the Most High. We'll leave it there, right? Children of a God makes you what? Makes you a God.
Right.
At the very least, a demigod, but a demigod is just a God in human flesh, man. So what does that mean? It means it's time to get back to paradise. Right. But let's figure out how we even got in America in the first place, man. We know where we're from, and it's not.
Chapter 28, verse 68. Bring it out. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Into what?
Into Egypt.
Hold on to that word. We're going to go back to that. Continue.
Again with ships.
You got Exodus?
By the way thereof I spake unto thee.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. Continue.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
You shall see it no more again. It's talking about that. It's not talking about literal Egypt, because when you read in the history, we've gone back to Egypt on multiple occasions. It's talking about the way and method and pathway we got there, right? We walked out of Egypt. This Egypt it's talking about is going to be in Egypt. Continue.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
This is talking about an Egypt we're going to be taken to on ships and sold to for bondmen and bondwomen. This is a future prophecy, by the way. What group of people were taken into a place, because Egypt is synonymous with slavery, and we'll get that right now. Bring it out.
This is Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. You know what bondage is? It's not.
Yeah and no.
All right, cool. All right, so let's separate. It's not the kinky stuff, all right?
Oh, bondage is like some shit like tying down. Like.
So what do you have to do to a man to be able to tie this man down? Shit. And when a man, you overpower him, right? You oppress him, right? And when you oppress this man and you tie this man up and you can drag him anywhere you want, what is that man considered at that point? He's a slave. If I can oppress you, overpower you as a grown man, and tie you up and drag you to wherever I please, you're a slave. So Egypt is synonymous with slavery. If you read the Bible, the first slavery the Israelites went into was Egypt. So God right here is using a euphemism or a figure of speech. He knows we talk in context. You know what I'm saying? Tight shit. He knows we talk in context, which means he's threatening to take us back into slavery with ships. Right. That's why he says you will be sold for bondmen and bondwomen. You will be sold as slaves, right? This is what happened when we don't listen to our God. Go back to 82 now and finish the last part, right? And when he strips us of that, when he strips us of our freedom, he strips us from being gods and he makes us just men. This is why even though you feel like a god, you get treated like a man. This is why that man right there, he's just skateboarding, man. I'm saying, like, we should be doing more God level stuff than that. That man is probably just trying to decompress from a terrible day he's had. Continue.
This is Psalms 82 in verse 6 through 7. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men.
You'll die like men. That's it. We can leave it there. You don't need that anymore, right? We die like men because he stripped us of our power. But he promises to give us that back with salvation, right? Salvation comes from a root word salvage, right? Meaning to save whatever's left. So when God gives us salvation, he will save us out of the hand of our enemies. That's what we need to be saved from. And when he does that, all the prophecies and revelations about us going back to a kingdom of paradise, living that forever life will be fulfilled. And we don't have to sit here and have this conversation about who we are, where we came from, and why we're even in this position in the first place. See, our violation to God was lacking integrity. Because a God without a set of morals is just some wild guy. You ever read about Zeus? Nigga was crazy, dog. Dude had sex with men. Dude transformed into animals. Dude was after other women's wives. And nobody could do anything about it. That man had no morals. That's why I can't look at their mythological stories about Zeus like that guy was real or God. Because that man has no standards to hold up to. He's a useless character to me. We have better than that. We have morals, man. We have a set of code and conduct to live by. Give me what is that? Deuteronomy 4? This is your wisdom in the sight of the nation? Give me that Deuteronomy 4. You got something?
I had a precept for.
Give me the precept.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 20 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
Moreover, I will deliver all the strength of this city and all the laborers thereof.
The strength of our city. I don't know how much time you got, but I'm going to get to the point, right? Yeah. The strength of the city. Continue.
And all the precious things thereof.
On all the precious things. Continue.
And all the treasures of the kings of Judah.
The kings of Judah. You know about the 12 tribes of Israel, right? You mentioned the Hebrew Israelites, so it sounds like you know a little bit, right? You know about the 12 tribes, right? You know what Judah was considered, right? The kings of God, man. Who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, real name Yahweh Shai. He was from the tribe of Judah. David, tribe of Judah. Solomon, tribe of Judah. The most valiant kings, the most righteous kings known to man, right? Or Solomon, wisest king. David, one of the most righteous. And of course, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ will be the fulcrum of all the kings. You so-called black man? You a so-called black man? So-called blacks? The tribe of Judah.
That's right.
Tribe of kings. So what does it mean? It means they took the king's power. They took the God's power away from them, and that was because our God allowed them to do it because we weren't doing the things he liked.
Right.
If you don't mind me borrowing too much, this is as far as I'm gonna go into your personal life. You got kids?
No.
Nah? Well, you know, when a parent, right? What does a parent do when a kid misbehaves?
Shit, you get a punishment.
You get punishment, and one of those punishments, did your parents ever take away a toy from you? Because you know, black people are notorious for doing this. You get like a toy on Christmas or your birthday, and then right when you open it, they go, you know, if you mess up, I'm gonna take that away from you, right? Like, dang, mom, I ain't even put the batteries in the remote control yet, and you're already telling me you're gonna take it away from me. The same way, oh dang, your bird's expiring. The same way we act towards our God is the same way he do it for us. But instead of toys, it's our power. Right. It's our glory. It's our knowledge. It's our wisdom. It's our understanding. It's who we are as a people. Now we got to question who we are. If I asked you who you were, you would say black. But you know how many people would say African American? You know how many people would just say I just am? You know how many people would say Afro American? You know how many people would say Afro Asiatic? Why do the same group of people give me 20 different answers? We don't know who we are, man. We got to get better. And it starts, believe it or not, with reading. Like G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle. Get your precept.
This is
Hebrews
12 and 5. Bring it out. And ye have forgotten the exhortation, which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord.
So we can't hate it, man. We despise the chastening of the Lord. And again, I'm not saying it's intentional, but we despise the chastening of the Lord when we sit here and we ask almost rhetorical questions like, well, if there was a God, why would he let us be in this position? It's not like he let us be in this position. We put ourselves in this position. As a matter of fact, in the book of Jeremiah, and if I'm not mistaken, Isaiah, he asked us, aren't you like tired of slavery? Like, it seems like you guys like this. Jeremiah asked, is Israel a homeborn slave? Because we were going into slavery, that's our God's form of punishment towards us, right? It's on a national level. What's going on, bro? Right? You got a few minutes? I was just telling this man. Oh, yeah, checking them out? All right. Right? So what we're out here to do is we're out to teach the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, anyone of Indian or Negro descent, who they are according to the Bible. We believe knowledge is power, and the thing that they took away from us wasn't our strength, because we got that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You might not even work out. You're stronger than the average. Look at that. We have our strength. We have intelligence. We have the zeal, you know, the passion to push for unity. We don't have the knowledge. And they took that and they put it in a book that's probably on your grandma's dresser right now. You know what book would most likely be on your grandma's dresser right now? The Bible. Have you ever picked grandma's book up and read it?
Let's say I read it, but not to comprehend.
Not to comprehend it, right? Why not? I mean, isn't a book for comprehension? It's a set of inscribed words textually written in so that people later on down the line can read it and comprehend what's going on at that moment, right? So why is a book a tome of knowledge, a lexicon of information not being read to be comprehended? This isn't Harry Potter, and I bet you've read Harry Potter. I bet you understand more about Harry Potter than you do about the Bible. You know the Bible tells you you're a God. Does it? Do you? Yeah, you know that? Yes, you are. See, the thing about a God is just a being with power. I'm not telling you you're the highest God, the creator of all things. I'm telling you, you as a black man have power on this earth. Right. There's somebody out there right now who's trying to imitate your outfit, dog. And that was probably just a light work fit you put on to go out. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I don't have TikTok because I don't believe I'm not trying to get lost in the social media craze. But when I be seeing clips on like YouTube, because they be reposting them on TikTok, guess what it is? It's some person from another land imitating our dances with our music. How are you not a God with so much influence upon the earth? Let me get that. Psalms 83, bro. Well, listen, man. I know you're about to head out, right? So just know you're an Israelite the Bible speaks of, most likely from the tribe of Judah. All right? Suspend disbelief and read the book. Throw away Christianity. Throw away Catholicism. We're not Christians. We're not Catholics. We're not here to show you about the Trinity. We're not here to promise you that white people are going to get into the same place you are. We're not here for any of that. We're here to show you the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding your God so you can go around the earth and be smarter and be more well put together so that we can begin treating each other better. And we do that by moving on a unified front. The Black Panther Party was great. I learned about them. They said the breakdown of the Black Panther Party was when a bunch of people with a bunch of different goals started joining the Black Panther Party, and that caused fractures in it. Because if we're not on the same goal, we ain't moving in the same direction. But what happens when a bunch of people who have different goals join the same group? The group prospers for a while, and then they split up, and everything falls apart. Our goal is to get the hell out of America. I know we found a place of comfort here. I know we found a place that some of us have even found a way to thrive here, but our people in general do not thrive. They're suffocating. They're dying. They're crying out for help and no one's around to hear them. In our land, nobody's cries will go unheard and unabated. We need to get the hell out of here. Here's how you know we need to get the hell out of here. If we were supposed to be here, we would have come here by ourselves, right? Did we come here by ourselves? Some man had to put us on chains and drag us on the world's worst voyage for 3 goddamn months while laying us down like sardines to get us here. And even then, we would kill ourselves just to escape the hell. Like literally jump off of the boats. You know why those nets are on boats now? Not to protect people from falling. They were to keep us from jumping off the boats. It wasn't there for people falling. It was there to keep black people in line. And then right after they put those nets up, those nets were like 20 feet long. We learned how to clear 20-foot jumps just to get the hell off the boat. If we were supposed to be here, it wouldn't have taken that much effort to get us here. We're supposed to be somewhere else chilling, being mathematicians, scholars, kings, and advancing the earth with the powers that were given to us by our God, the creativity. We're going, I mean, they would call it Africa continental-wise. We're going somewhere else. We're going a little bit more, what is it, east, northeast. We're going back to what they call the Fertile Crescent, right? The Mediterranean, is it Mediterranean? No, it's another word. It's it starts with an L, Levant region, right? My bad, man, losing it. We're going back to the land of milk and honey, a land that's so rich in natural resources that people are fighting over it and spilling blood just to have it. That's our land, man. We're going back there and we're going to raise our kids there, and our kids are going to raise their kids there, and the land will never run out of resources when our God's upon it. And we'll always have what we need, because as long as you got food, water, clothes, and shelter, your whole life is paid for, and that's what our God promises us and more. But in order to get there, we got to know how to get there, what we did to get here, and who we are. Because not everybody's going there, man. Not everybody's getting there.
That part.
Yeah. So now how do we decide who's getting there and who's not? I mean, well, you know, who needs it the most? Who needs salvation the most? You believe in God? You believe in the Bible?
Like I said, read the comprehend.
I'm not saying have you read it. I'm saying would you believe in it if you were? Hey, bro, you have a good one, though. Take a look at that, bro. Right?
It's things in the Bible I don't believe in. It's things in the Quran I don't believe in.
What things in the Bible don't you believe in, man?
In the Bible?
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of shit.
Just name one. We'll just run them down, man. Because we're here to dispel all those things. We're here to have a conversation about it. I want to don't think that you're being attacked. I just want to know because I find this interesting.
I don't see this as the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't politic religion in that way.
We're not religion.
I see what y'all saying, but that's religion. What I'm talking about.
So let me do. Yeah. So let's politic history. You fine with that?
Yeah.
What do you call a book? I kind of just gave it away. What do you call a book that has the history of a group of people and where they came from and where they're at in present day? What do you call a compilation of those records? You call it a history book, right? So, do you believe the Bible has history?
Somebody's history.
Somebody's history?
Somebody's history.
We believe it's your history, dog.
Right? That's right.
See the disconnect? This is why we don't have to politic, man. We don't got to get into disagreements. I do want to have a conversation because I like to dispel notions you have about, certain things in here.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead.
What book do y'all read? What book is this?
This is the Bible.
This is the Bible?
This is the Bible. Yes, sir. This is the KJV version? This is the KJV, but we really do intertextual comparisons. We compare all these books, right? But we just believe that the KJV is the most accurate to the Greek and, of course, the Hebrew translation that we get. It was directly translated at the end of 1611 at the behest of King James, who commanded 49 of the best Greek and Hebrew scholars to translate this book according to accuracy. He divided them into groups, had them all translate portions, and then had them confer notes to see if they get it right. Right? And then had an entire separate council of people who were there to autocorrect any other mistakes made in translating this book, right? Which makes this just a historical breakdown of ancient texts we got from old times, right? Yeah. I want to say this right now. We're not Christian. I know Christians don't do this. We're not Catholics. We're not even religious. We believe that our God gave us a set of laws, statutes, commandments, i.e. morals, to live our lives by. And just like every culture or group has their God, most of them, until just recently, would not even have identified their beliefs and their God system belief as a religion. Religion is relatively new in human history. It's almost 2,000 years old. It comes from the Latin religios, meaning to bind to multiple gods. Now, under that ambiguous, broad definition, we could potentially fall under religion. But because we believe this was given, and we know historically, scholars will agree to it, that especially the first 5 books, the Torah, the commandments of God, were given way before that, we don't find keeping them to be the same comparable religion to Christianity, right? All right, cool. Because I thought it was going way. You got a precedent?
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how you say you're not a religion? But
Yeah,
the Bible.
that's fine. Yeah. So we pick up this book, we read it, we confer the notes, we check it, fact check it, details. We don't find this Bible dogmatic, meaning we believe there's textual errors in this book. The men who translated it are subject to error, right? And all these things, which means. But we do have what we need to get to the kingdom, and that's the commandments of God. Because that's all what we need. All right, so let's get here. Can I get you like 2, 3? Let me get you 3 verses, bro. 3. Give me 3. 3 of these. All right, and then you can just tell me whether or not you agree with them. Go ahead.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 3. No. Blessed is he that readeth.
Blessed is he that what?
Blessed is he that readeth.
You can agree with that, right? Continue.
And they that hear the words of this prophecy. and keep those things which are written therein.
You know the word of this prophecy prophesies your people coming out of America in a blaze of glory and going back to the kingdom to rule over the rest of the planet Earth with an iron fist. How do you feel about that? You know, listen, I always say that's extra because our goal is to get the hell out of the living hell we've been in, right? The affliction black people have been in. The kingdom is extra. Getting out of hell is what we're going for. Everything else God gives us is just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Can you agree with that? This is what our book prophesies. It tells us how we got here. It tells us where our ancestors were before we got here. No surprise, we were kings. And it tells us what we got to do to get the hell out of here. You see, I feel like a lot of our people's disconnect with the book, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is wrong for you as an individual, is we've been taught the understanding of this book by those people, right? Right? They showed up, they found us with our book. I remember I learned this in history class, it never clicks. They said the people in West Africa, when they found these people, they used to burn the 10 Commandments in the woods so that it wouldn't be taken from them. Yeah, bro, wild stuff. I haven't been able to find the piece since, but I know one of my teachers said that. And at the time it didn't, I was like, oh, these people were really devoted. And then I found out it was us. And then I found out we were supposed to be keeping these commandments and we were faithful unto death to keeping these commandments. And then it made sense. The people in West Africa were so adherent to their God. We have a passion for a God, regardless of whether or not you believe in, religions. We don't believe in that either. You can tell at the very least, Christians are very passionate about Sunday church and stomping on the devil and Kirk Franklin. You know what I'm saying? The Bible also says we have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So what are we missing? Just one thing, the thing that they took away from us. Understanding and comprehension on a book we've always ever had in our lives. God. This book has been with us since the day it was written. And when our enemies came and destroyed it and burned all our books, God put the Spirit on a man to rewrite our books so we would still have it. That's right. That's how much we cling to this, man. So are we going to go with what's new and what hasn't worked, or are we going to go with what's been working for us for the last 3,000-4,000 years? And that's this book, which is the most studied, most best-selling book every year in history.
It's just misunderstood.
It's just misunderstood, man. This is why we're reading that to you. I brought that one out. Let me get to it. You got a precept? Here's the second one. We'll get a third one. Bring it up.
This is 2 Maccabees. Chapter 1 and verse 54. Now the 15th day of the month Keslu, in the 145th year.
What are we getting with this?
They burnt the books of the law.
Go ahead.
In the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah.
1 second. The abomination of desolation was, temples, right? The Israelites, we've had 2 temples in our lives, right? The first temple was destroyed. We rebuilt it. We have the second temple. That second temple was defiled with what we would call the abomination of desolation. During the time of the Greeks, when that guy had basically took over the majority of that land, he subjected us to a degree. When he subjected us to his power and his rule, they got in the temple and they committed all types of evil. Those rich people parties that nobody talks about, that they say Diddy be going to? You know what I'm saying? Those types of parties where all this alleged stuff is happening, all this dark stuff, is what they did to the temple of our God. And then they sacrificed pork, which everybody knows we should not be eating, in the temple of our God. So not only did they sacrifice an animal to another god, but they used pork. That's the it was disgusting. It's basically like them walking up to you, ripping half of your beard out, spitting in your face, and then pulling your pants down, and then running away. Disrespectful. I'd kill a man for that. You know what I'm saying? Especially the pulling the pants. That's gay. Right? That's the level of disrespect they pulled. And then what else did they do?
And builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. And burnt incense at the doors of their houses.
Get to the point.
And in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they had found, they burnt them with fire.
They did what?
They burnt them with fire.
So whenever a kingdom takes over another kingdom, the first thing they do is wipe out history that those group of people existed. They tried to wipe us out by burning our books. This time, they caught on to our book, and they were so prideful, they thought that they could keep our book and even teach it to some of us. And they thought that they would subject us to slavery forever using our own beliefs. Because you can't force a group of people to believe in a God they've never believed in without an amount of rebellion. So what they did was they took our God and told us that he wanted us to be slaves forever. And then they told him he was white. But we already had the belief in the book and the God. So at that point, it was very easy to convince us our God wanted slavery for us by taking out many chapters of the book and then telling us he was white. Because at the time, they had broken us to the point where we literally looked at this man like a God. That guy right there. We think he's a God. You know what I'm saying? This is why we don't have comprehension of it anymore. Because whenever we would begin to read this book, the generations of ancestral trauma breakdown, the generations that they spent telling us our God was white and telling us that we're supposed to be slaves, kicks in whenever we touch this book. But our logic kicks in too, and we're like, that doesn't even make sense. And then we fight it. And then what do? We just throw it all away because it's too much of an issue. Give me that.
Critical meat on that. Critical meat.
Go ahead, bring it up.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament.
And if they found anybody with the books of our God, of our ancestors, of our forefathers, what happened?
Or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death.
That they should be what?
Put to death.
So now there's another traumatic fear that we had, that when we begin to read this for what it's worth, now we fear being ostracized, being ousted. Nick Cannon talked about us being Israelites. Kyrie Irving didn't even talk about it. He just posted a movie and said, y'all should watch this. Kanye West mentioned it, and they took that man from a billionaire to a millionaire. And we thought nobody could touch a billionaire. Nobody can touch a white billionaire. A black billionaire, like Kanye said himself. Even if you're rich, you're still just a nigga in a coupe.
That's right. That's right.
They said, and then guess what? Our black people were so scared that people begin to speak out against the man who was telling you that you're great.
That's right.
And that's if you listen to a lot of his rants, that's what he's been saying. Y'all have been trying to downtrodden me for the longest. Y'all have been talking shit against me, and I've only succeeded. I've been trying to tell you guys are great, and you guys are out here trying to out me and shit. Right? And then we hear the rant and we don't listen and we go, oh, that's just Kanye going crazy again. No, he's talking about how none of us have ever supported this man. He's talking about how we always had to do it alone. And he's still doing it alone. Just people are not messing with Kanye still at the moment. And guess what? He's still succeeding too. People still listen to vultures, man. People still bought that stem player for Donda too. See? What? This shirt? What specific part? The whole insignia? This says Sicarii, right? Sicarii means little dagger, right? It was an ancient sect of zealots back during the Roman times. Israelites, right, who will fight against Roman invaders. We fought to keep our people who were fleeing from Roman persecution at the time from getting caught up to, right? Because if we're running from them and there's no obstacles in front of them, they'll catch up. We were the obstacle. We killed infidels, we killed sympathizers, and of course, Roman invaders. I forgot I don't have the article on me, but there was an article found like a year ago, like within a span of a year, that literally said that they found Roman swords that ancient, not Sicarii specifically, but an ancient sect of Roman defectors used to fight against the Romans during the present, conveniently the same time the Sicarii existed, right? So what we're here to do, man, is we're here for spiritual warfare. We're here to spiritually fight off all the invaders who seek to ruin our lives and keep us ruined. We're here to spiritually fight against these things so that you can have a wall of protection in front of you so that you can learn who you are. So that things that happen to Kanye, Kyrie, Deshaun Dillard stop happening when people want to suddenly speak out against, with who we are according to the mass amounts of history, knowledge, and archaeology we have supporting it. So that way, we can no longer feel afraid to be ourselves because we're not black. His jacket's black, man. Your beard is black, right? We're not black. Your beard might be brown because my hair looks black. It's actually brown, right? Same thing. So that's what we're here for. We're just here for that. Now, the rest of this breakdown, this right here, a lot of people call it the Star of David. This is a lily, right? It's the geometric shape for a lily, which is a six-pointed flower, right? It's also the geometric shape for the flower that blooms on top of the pomegranate, which they say a perfect pomegranate has 613 seeds, which is representative of the 613 laws, statutes, and commandments that our God gave to us. Solomon built the capitals of the temples with the pomegranate, same type of geometric inscribed shape. The sword, or the little daggers, to represent the Sicarii. These two branches are to represent the northern and southern kingdom of Israel when we split right here. And this is Exodus 17:15, Yahweh's banner, right? That's what it stands for, because the Lord is our banner. Right? What else should I forget? Did I forget something? Is that it? That's it. And then San Diego is just where I'm from, because, you know, we throw a little extras on there. Right? Last one, because I did promise you 3, and then we're good. And if you got any questions, go ahead and ask them. That's what we're here for.
It's the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So because we don't know anything, and like G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle, because we don't have half the battle, if you ever take a test and you get 50%, you're like, at least it's 50, right? They're going to be like, oh, well, at least it's an F, right? And then, you know, they're going to throw your paper in the trash or something, bro. Or, you know, hopefully give you a retest. But 50% is terrible. So the fact that half the battle is something we don't know means we lost already. Even if we got the strength, we got the numbers, we got the zeal for unity, we don't know how to do this, we don't know who we are, if we don't know what we're fighting for, there's no point. Right? Continue.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
We rejected knowledge. So it's not even like we lost it. God gave us the commandments and we refused to keep those because we looked at these other groups of people who had gods with no morals, that allowed you to have sex with another man's wife, that allowed you to just be out here promiscuous, that allowed you to be out here just willy-nilly, anywhere, any time of day, doing whatever, substance abuse, whatever. We found that the grass was greener on their side because their false god watered it. And so we rejected God. We didn't, I mean, there were some people who probably literally looked up to the sky and told God, forget you. But in our actions, which speak louder than words, we have rejected God. That's why we're here. That's why we don't have knowledge, because we rejected him. So imagine how easy it was to oppress a group of people who were rejecting the God who gave them power in the first place. It was a cakewalk. It should have been a cakewalk, but, you know, we were just that good. But they beat us eventually. Continue.
I will also reject thee.
And God rejected us because we rejected him first. Right? It's the same way. It's like you feel some type of way about a girl, you know what I'm saying? And then you talk to her and she's like, man, your waves ain't that wavy. And you're like, all right, cool then, forget you then. Your lace front was showing, you know, I'm out. The way you rejected her because she rejected you is the way God rejected us because we rejected him first. But you can't be, that's what we get mad at women for. We get mad at them for getting mad at us for something they did.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Thou shalt be no priest to me.
Thou shalt be no priest. A priest ministers to God, meaning the service of God, the most important job ever, the connection between the Heavenly Father and this planet. We were not allowed to do that anymore, meaning the light to the world was lost. Continue.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
And now our descendants, now our kids, you know how many people walk around and feel like God's not for them? You know how many people walk around and ask the question, you know, why God? Oh, if God loved us, why are we here? Why did God forget about me? God forgot about you because you forgot about him.
That's right.
A relationship, what do they say? Respect is a two-way street.
That's right.
You got to give me the respect as much as and I've already given you respect. You haven't given me respect. That's why I took it away from you. So start giving me respect and I'll do what I promised you. And God, any word of God is practically a promise. And he's made good on our slavery, hasn't he? He's made good on taking us into slavery on ships. He's made good on oppressing us with other nations. These are all in the Bible, right? He's made good on forgetting about us, which means, guess what? Because he's a God of promises, it means when we remember him, he'll have to make good on remembering us.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You got any questions, bro? All right, man, I don't want to put too much food on the plate. Just remember, you're an Israelite, most likely from the tribe of Judah. All right, take a look at that book. Throw Christianity away. And however long it takes you, man, just read that Bible for comprehension. This is the name of our YouTube channel now. What YouTube are we giving him? Deacon Destruction Mode? Because Sicarie's down. So, yeah, Sicarii Atlanta, right? And, of course, Deacon Destruction Mode. Those are the two ones. They got all the knowledge, information you want. Just look it up on YouTube. We do lives. We're doing all that. We're going a distance to show you who you are because you know you want it, all right? You have a nice day, bro.
Love you, brother. Love you, bro.
All right. We got precepts back? Run me my precepts back. Run me my precepts back. For John 4 and 22, we never got that. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6. We never got that. I mean, we didn't finish it, but we got it. Deuteronomy 7 and 6, because I want to bring that out. We didn't even really get to the point of Nehemiah 9, did we? No, we didn't. Go back to Nehemiah 9.
That one first?
Yes, sir. And then just go to 27. I feel like we were there almost. Continue. Go ahead. No, it's fine. I told you to drop him anyway. You get John 4 and 22. I was getting that. Oh, dang. He's there.
Go ahead, King. This is Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee.
We were disobedient and we rebelled against our God, man. But because he's so loving and so merciful and so graceful, what? Continue.
And cast thy law behind their back.
And we threw our God's laws away behind our backs. What? You can't run a civilization without rules and codes of conduct, right? Who can sit here and be trusted with just the ability to not do wrong by what's not spoken of? Right? The natural man. Listen, even the America's alleged founders knew that. They wrote about the natural man and how people give up a little bit of their freedom for security, for authority that will rule over them and govern them with laws. Right? Continue.
And slew thy prophets.
And we killed the prophets. One of the highest treasons, because the prophet was a liaison for God. We killed the messenger. Continue.
Which testified against them to turn them.
What's going on, bro? Y'all got a second? Continue.
And they wrought great provocations. Therefore thou deliveredst them into the hands of their enemies.
Thou delivered them into the hands of their enemies, who vexed them, right? Who oppressed them. Continue.
And in the time of their trouble. When they cried unto thee.
So the problem is we don't cry unto God anymore. And I don't mean white Jesus. And remember, the prayers of sinners are not heard. So not only do we got to cry unto our God, but we got to be right before we cry unto our God, man. You can't ask for forgiveness and still be doing the things that you need forgiveness from. He's going to forgive you. Why? So you can mess up tomorrow? Why? Then I got to forgive you again. And now it's up to me to have the grace and mercy for you, instead of just stopping, right? I'd like to talk about the man you were, not the man you are. Continue. I'd like to forget about the man you were, not the man you are. Continue.
Thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercy, thou gavest them Savior.
Thou gavest them what?
Thou gavest them Savior.
So once we cry unto our God in the keeping of his commandments, right? Continue.
Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies. That's what we cry unto our God for, man. That's what Yahweh's name is, right? The deliverers, he saves.
That's right.
Right? That is the name of the man who's showing up to save us with the power of God in his right and his left hand, man. The right hand of God, who's got a right hand and a left hand, will deliver mercy and destruction. Continue.
But after they had rest, they did evil again before thee.
They did evil again before thee. So even after he saved us, we did evil. This is why this last captivity has to be so painful, man. This is why the last affliction, Lord willing, has to be so harsh. Because black people don't listen, man. Let's be honest here. If we could listen, we would still be in the kingdom. We don't listen and we need repetition. That's why you got to burn your hand on the stove more than once. You got to burn your hand, and then you got to burn your hand to make sure when you burned your hand, it was hot the first time.
That's right.
And then one more time just to make sure that you made sure. You ever lock your car 3 times? The first one is to lock it. The second one is to make sure you locked it. And the third one is to make sure that you made sure that you locked it. This is why this captivity is so painful, and hopefully this is the last captivity, because we should look upon this time and remember we're not going back.
That's right.
We don't want to go back. I'd rather serve the Lord my God in righteousness for the rest of my life than go back to hell.
Tell them about it.
That's what we're looking for. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's keep the commandments, and let's keep the Passover tomorrow.
That's right.
First one, then I'm coming back to the second one. The kingdom is just for us. It's real. The kingdom is just for us. It's real. These nations ain't nothing like us. It's real. These nations ain't nothing like us. Salt of the earth. Since birth from first I be the salt of the earth. God word, we the church, we be the salt of the earth. God first and worst, I'm still a salt of Dropping jewels and gems in the street like Tim's, we ain't none of them. Been putting in work, you check my film. Mindset used to be stuck on the M, mindset don't flip, now it's stuck on him. Jewish me, won't fuck with them. If it ain't black and brown, we ain't fucking with them. On your own. Build power base up, get all T, son, tell them watch the throne. For the generation come, niggas switch things up. Just hit a Christian with $1 million.